Welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're tuning in right now, chances are you're in your early 30s, you've done the incredibly hard work of staying totally free of consumer debt, and your biggest financial commitment right now is just your mortgage. Honestly, you're starting from a fantastic position. So today, we're taking the brilliant insights from some of the biggest names in personal finance and turning them into a bespoke, step-by-step roadmap designed specifically for you. The ultimate goal? Escaping the daily grind entirely.
Okay, let's dive into this because we are looking at a surprisingly aggressive timeline today. You know, conventional wisdom tells us to just put our heads down, work for 40+ years, and slowly squirrel away pennies. But we want to know, can you actually achieve complete financial freedom and retire in just
20 years. Yep, exactly 2 decades. That is the exact window we have to make this happen by the time you hit age 50. Now, to pull off a compressed timeline like this, we're going to synthesize two very different financial titans. We're talking Dave Ramsey's impenetrable financial defense mashed up with Robert Kiyosaki's hyper-aggressive asset-building offense.
Think of this agenda as your definitive treasure map. We've got 5 key steps to cover today. Number 1, secure your financial foundation. 2, build your asset column. 3, choose your investment vehicles. 4, tackle the big mortgage strategy debate. And 5, master the investor mindset. This is the exact guide to get you from a salary-dependent age 30 to a financially free age 50.
Step 1. Secure your financial foundation. Because look, before we can even begin to talk about generating all this exciting passive income or buying up assets, you absolutely must build an unshakable foundation to protect your 20-year timeline against sudden setbacks. The secret to funding your early retirement really starts with the sheer, undeniable statistical power of a proper budget, and specifically a zero-based budget. This just means your income minus your expenses equals 0. You're proactively giving every single dollar a literal job before the month even begins. And get this, the data from our sources shows that people who utilize a strict zero-based budget pay off 19% more debt and save 18% more money on average. That extra 18%, that's going to be the rocket fuel for your early retirement. Now, Dave Ramsey's first 3 baby steps are the absolute perfect defensive playbook here. You've already got step 2 handled by being consumer debt-free, which is huge. So your main focus is step 3, building a fully funded emergency cash reserve covering 3 to 6 months of expenses. Why is this so critical? Well, because life happens. A flat tire, a surprise medical bill, or, a global pandemic shouldn't force you to liquidate your hard-earned investments or go crawling back into debt. This cash is your safety net. It lets your investments grow completely uninterrupted. Step 2. Build your asset column. With your defense totally locked in, we move to the major paradigm shift of this explainer. To retire by 50, you have to completely rewire how you view your money. You have to stop focusing solely on your salary and pivot toward aggressively acquiring true assets. And this brilliantly illustrates Robert Kiyosaki's absolute golden rule from Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It strips away all the confusing accounting jargon and leaves you with this ridiculously simple truth. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket, whether you're working or not. A liability? That's something that takes money out of your pocket, period. Let's look at how this traps so many people. The middle class constantly makes the mistake of buying liabilities that they think are assets. We're talking oversized primary homes, luxury cars, expensive boats. Notice the cash flow pattern here. The money comes in as income, and boom, it immediately flows right back out to pay for the mortgage, the maintenance, the interest. It just constantly drains your monthly cash flow, trapping you in the rat race forever. So, what's the ultimate mathematical finish line for your 20-year plan? It's simply this equation right here. By age 50, you need your asset column to generate enough passive cash flow to completely exceed your living expenses. The exact moment that happens, your job becomes entirely optional. You are officially free.
Step 3. Choose your investment vehicles. To make that equation an actual reality, you need engines that generate serious cash flow. So, let's introduce the specific financial vehicles that will systematically build your vital asset column over the next 2 decades.
Let's see how this builds your actual portfolio using tax-advantaged accounts like Roth IRAs or a 401k. Our sources point to a really nice balanced mix. First up, broad market index funds, like the S&P 500. This is the classic Boglehead approach. It's low cost, and it historically outperforms the vast majority of actively managed funds over time. Next, you've got dividend-paying stocks, which actually pay you a portion of the company's profits on a regular basis, giving you that vital cash flow. And finally, income-generating real estate. This provides steady monthly rental income. And hey, if you're willing to take a more active role, strategies like 1031 tax-deferred exchanges allow you to legally trade up and grow a small investment into a massive income-producing empire.
So naturally, you're probably wondering, how much should you invest? Well, Dave Ramsey famously advises putting 15% of your household income into retirement. But remember, you are operating on a seriously compressed 20-year timeline. That means 15% is your absolute bare minimum floor. Starting at age 30, hitting that necessary portfolio size will likely require an even higher savings rate. To reach financial independence by 50, you must violently oppose what we call lifestyle creep. When you get a raise or a nice bonus, do not go buy a fancier car. You need to divert every single extra dollar directly into those investment vehicles.
Step 4. The mortgage strategy debate. Now we really have to address the $230,000 elephant in the room. You have a mortgage. How exactly should you strategically handle this specific debt over the next 20 years to truly maximize your wealth? The sources present two very distinct philosophies here. And honestly, neither is wrong. The debt-free path, championed by Ramsey, says to ruthlessly attack that mortgage. Paying it off by age 50 means you enter retirement with a zero housing payment, which drastically lowers the amount of passive income you actually need to survive. It offers just incredible peace of mind. Conversely, you have the leverage path, favored by Kiyosaki, which argues that your home is actually a liability. His strategy says keep that low-interest mortgage and take all that extra cash you would have used to pay it down and deploy it into higher-yielding assets like those index funds or rental properties we talked about. Ultimately, you have to decide which path aligns best with your own personal risk tolerance. Step 5. Master the investor mindset. Because regardless of which mortgage strategy you end up choosing, the mechanics are only a really small part of the battle. Successfully executing this 20-year roadmap is actually 80% behavior and only 20% math. Your mindset is literally everything. Robert Kiyosaki hits the nail on the head here when he warns us, money does not make you rich, knowledge does. This profound insight is the true secret to building lasting wealth. A high salary won't save you if you have no idea how money actually works. Continually increasing your financial IQ, studying basic accounting, understanding market history, learning about tax efficiencies, this is what actually compounds your wealth over a 20-year period. So the crucial point is this. Way too many people stay completely out of the market because they think investing is just too risky. But the truth is, it is not gambling if you know what you're doing. It is calculated wealth building. Understanding this empowers you to stay persistent. Over 20 years, you are absolutely going to experience market downturns and recessions. It's inevitable. But the financially educated investor doesn't panic and sell. No way. They see those downturns as a rare opportunity to acquire high-quality assets at a massive discount. Think about it. You have the zero-based budget ready to fund your investments. You clearly know the difference between assets and liabilities. You see the investment engines available to you, and you understand the psychology required to stay the course. The only question left is, how aggressively are you willing to pursue your own independence? Which path will you choose to fund your freedom by age 50? Start mapping out your next move today.